Hey guys, Miss Kendick here. Today we're going to be looking at IXL skill CC.1 over calculating the mean, median, mode, and range. We're going to start by looking at the mean. What is, by definition, the mean? It is the average of all the numbers. So how do we find an average? Well, we add up the numbers and divide by the number of numbers in the data. So, number one, let's do one together. What is the mean? We have to start by adding up all the numbers. So, we want to add them together. 5 plus 6, and that gives me 11. 7 plus 5, and that gives me 12. 6 plus 8, and that gives me 14. And then we're going to bring down this 5. So let's add all of these numbers together. Okay, now it might help you if you write them out vertically. So 11 plus 12 plus 14 plus 5. Now remember, when you write them out, you've got to look at the columns now and add the columns together. So let's start with the right-hand column. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 5 is 12. Put down the 2, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So I get 42 when I add all the numbers in the data set together. Now, we've then got to divide by the number of numbers in the data. So let's count. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got to say, okay, 42 divided by 7. There are 7 numbers in the data, and the sum of those 7 numbers is 42. So that's where we got a 42 and a 7. So 42 divided by 7 is 6. So the answer is 6. 6 is the mean for this set of data. Now, what if they give you negative numbers? Let's look at number 2. What is the mean? If the answer is a decimal, round it to the nearest tenth. Okay, so all the numbers are negative but 1, and that is 0, right? And 0 is neither positive nor negative. So when we look or when we think about what to do with negative numbers, we know the integer rules. If the signs are all the same, we're going to add and keep the sign. And so here the signs are all negative, so we want to add the numbers together and keep the sign. So if we go about it the same way, negative 8 plus negative 4, we add 8 plus 4, we get 12 and keep the negative. Now, 0 and negative 9, remember 0 plus a number is going to give us that number. So it would just be negative 9. Negative 1 and negative 8 both have negatives, so we can add 1 plus 8 and get 9 and keep the negative. Negative 6 plus negative 7, that will give you negative 13 because you add and keep the sign. Now we can line these up vertically and say 12, 9, 9, and 13. If we add all of them up, we know our answer is going to be negative because all 4 of those numbers are negative. So you have to add and keep the sign. Okay, so let's start with the right-hand column. 2 plus 9 is 11. 11 plus 9 is 20. 20 plus 3 is 23. Put down the 3, carry the 2. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So we have negative 43. All right, so we want to then divide by the number of numbers that there are. Okay, so we're going to say, all right, let's see how many there are. We have to count 0 because 0 is a number in the data set. So let's not let that confuse you. 0 is a number in the data set, so we have to include it. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 numbers in the data set. So we're going to say negative 43 divided by 8. Remember, you're putting the sum of the numbers in the top, the numerator spot, and the denominator is going to be how many numbers you have in the data set, which in this case we counted 8. Now, negative 43 divided by 8, if you use your calculator for that, you would get negative 5.375. Now, the directions say round it to the nearest tenth. Remember, the tenth space is one place to the right of the decimal. So we have a 3. So this 7 is going to make the 3. We have to ask ourselves, is the 7 going to make the 3 go up or stay the same? 7 is greater than 5 because it's 5 or greater, you round up. 4 and less, you make the number stay the same. So the 7 is going to make the 3 round up to a 4, so we have negative 5.4, and that is the mean for that data. Number 3, for 6 nights, Frank tracked the number of pages he read in his book before going to bed. 8, 9, 6, 8, 5, 6. What is the mean? So remember, the mean means the average. That means we have to add the numbers up and divide by the numbers in the data set. And so, what was the mean number of pages that Frank read? So we have to add these up, okay? So 8 plus 9 is 17, 6 plus 8 is 14, and 5 plus 6 is 11. Now, if I say, okay, 17 plus 14 plus 11, 7 plus 4 is 11, plus 1 is 12. Put down your 2, carry your 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So I end up with 42 pages. So Frank read 42 pages in all, but how many nights did he read? He read 6 nights. That's how many data points that we have. So we have to say, okay, 42 divided by 6, and we get 7. So Frank read a mean number of pages, which would be 7 pages. That would be the mean or the average of pages that he read each night. All right, let's look at median. What does median mean? Median is the middle number. When all the numbers are ordered from least to greatest. So that's important. You have to put the numbers in order from least to greatest. Then you can strike the first and the last all the way until you get to the middle number. Let's do number 4. What is the median or the middle number? All right, we've got to put these in order from least to greatest. So our lowest number is 6. Then we have 18. Next, we have 18. You have to write that down twice because it appears twice in the data set. Then we have 19, 23, 24, and the highest is 28. All right, now we can strike through the first and the last until we get to the middle. So we can strike through 6 and 28, 18 and 24, 18 and 23, so our middle number is 19. So the median in the data set for number 4 is 19. What is the median for the next data set in number 5, well, we have to first start by writing the numbers in order from least to greatest. What is the lowest number? The lowest number is 2. Then we have 5. Then we have 7. Continuing on, we have 12, 19, and 23. There are 6 numbers in the data set, and we've written the 6 numbers in order from least to greatest. That's very important to remember. Now, we can strike the first and the last, but then we have 2 numbers in the middle. What do we do if there are 2 numbers in the middle? Well, let me explain what you do. All right, you're going to add the 2 together. Okay, you're going to add them together. 7 plus 12. Okay, and then you're going to divide by 2 because you want half of that number, because we want to find the number in between 7 and 12. All right, so 7 plus 12 is 19. Then we got to divide by 2. Right? So remember, if you are using just a paper and pencil, you can say, okay, you put 2 on the outside and 19.0 on the inside. Raise your decimal to the roof. All right, will 2 go into 1? No, but will 2 go into 19? Yes, it'll go 9 times. 9 times 2 is 18, and we're going to subtract. 19 minus 18 is 1, and then we got to bring down our 0. 2 goes into 10 how many times? 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10, and so they subtract and we get 0. So the median for this set of data would be 9.5. So 9.5 would be the median for this set of data. And that's what you do if you have 2 numbers left in the middle. You're going to add them together and then divide by 2 to get your answer. All right, let's keep moving forward. Going to number 6. Number 6. It says, what is the median? So we're still looking at the median. Remember, that's the middle number. The middle number. But they have to be ordered from least to greatest. So what if they give you a decimal, like in number 6? They're giving you decimal numbers. You still put them in order from least to greatest. Remember, when you're looking at decimal numbers, you want to make sure that the actual ones position, if they are all the same, which these are all 7, then you want to move to the tenths space, which that is the number to the right of the decimal. And then you're going to put those in order from least to greatest, okay? So now, starting with the lowest, what's our lowest number going to be? Our lowest number is going to be 7.2. Then we have 7.3. What comes next? 7.8. Now we have 2 7.8s, so we have to write them twice, and then 7.9. Now remember, we can strike through the first and the last, and our middle number, that is the median. So it's 7.8 is the median here. Number 7. Gordon went surfing 5 mornings this year. He logged the number of good waves each morning, 64331. What was the median number of good waves? So remember, you have to put the numbers in order from least to greatest, which 1 is the lowest, 3, 3, 4, and 6. You strike through the first and the last, until you get to the middle number. So the median number of good waves would be 3 waves. 3 waves. All right, so that finishes us up on the median. Let's look at the mode. Now, the mode is the number that occurs the most in the data. The number that occurs the most in the data. Okay, so What is the mode in number 8 for those set of numbers? All right, the mode is going to be the number that occurs the most. So, what number occurs more than once? Well, let's see. Are there any that occur more than once? Yes, okay, so 17, 17, and 17, that occurs 3 times. 25 only occurs once. 13 occurs more than once, right? And then we have a 20 and a 2. They only occur once. So which number occurs the most? It would be 17. What is the mode? Now, they're giving us decimals in number 9. All right, so we have to look and see. 3.2 occurs 1, 2, 3 times. 1.5 occurs 1, 2 times. 5.1 only occurs once. And 2.6 occurs once. So what occurs the most number of times? It would be 3.2 because that number occurs 3 times. Number 10. As part of a research experiment, a chemist is weighing 6 samples. The weights are all in ounces and are as follows. Okay, 3, 6, 6, 4, 6, and 2. What is the mode of the weights? So they want to know the mode. Remember, that's the number that occurs the most. All right. And so the 3 occurs once, 6 occurs 3 times, 4 occurs once, and 2 occurs once. So the weights are all in ounces. So it would be 6 ounces. 6 ounces. That's the mode of the weights. All right, let's look at the range. The range. You're going to take the highest number in the data and you're going to subtract the lowest number from it. Okay, so you have to find the highest and find the lowest, subtract, and then you will get your range. All right, so let's look at number 11. What is the range? We've got 13, 17, 15, 2, 19, 14, and 7. So what's the highest number? 19. What's the lowest number? 2. So we have to say 19 minus 2, and 17 is our range. Let's look at number 12. What is the range of 10, 8, 9, 1, 10, 0, and 2? All right, what's the highest number? The highest number is 10. What's the lowest number? The lowest number is 0. So we've got 10 minus 0, and we get 10. All right, number 13. What is the range? 8, 7.4, 7.6, 8.5, and 7. Remember, 8 can also be written 8.0, right? And we look at the ones to see what's the highest. So the 8 and the 8 here, those are higher than the 7s. This last 7 can also be written as 7.0. So the 8s are higher than the 7s. So we know that the highest number is 8.0 or 8.5. Well, it would be 8.5. And what is the lowest number? The lowest number. The lowest number would be 7.0 or just 7. So we can say 8.5 minus 7.0. Now we need to subtract. 5 minus 0 is 5. Bring your decimal straight down. 8 minus 7 is 1. So our range is 1.5. Let's look at number 14. Number 14. For a class science project, students worked in groups to make potato-powered batteries. Each of the 9 groups used a voltmeter to measure the voltage produced by their potatoes. 1, 1, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 1, 3. What was the range of the voltages? Okay, the voltages. So let's look. All right, the range is from high, you got to take the highest and subtract the lowest from it. So the highest number is 3. The lowest number of volts was 1. So 3 minus 1 would be 2 volts. 2 volts would be the range. So now you are able to log on to IXL and complete lesson CC.1.